Hello everyone and welcome to the Q Show, the first episode of 2026. And before I get started, I'm going to meditate for a minute and I invite you to join me if you'd like to. No pressure. You can just either look at me meditating or look away, look at something else, whatever takes your fancy. But I'm going to do that and then I'll jump into what I think is it's going to be an interesting year for me and for Q, and I think for a lot of you too. Hello again, and welcome to 2026 with Q. I think before I talk about the coming year and the coming months with Q, it's probably a good time to just reflect back on the year I and Q just had, which quite frankly was the greatest year of my life. And Q was a huge part of that and offered so much experience, ability to connect with so many new and different people, and seeing my choice to say goodbye to the life I was living that didn't feel good to me, that wasn't fulfilling me, and go off in pursuit of something that I knew was inside of me that could help other people, as well as myself, first and foremost, and in turn help others. Last year has been just one of the greatest things about last year was seeing so much joy coming from the work I've been doing with Q and the connections I've been building, and not just me with other people, but kind of bringing other people together, which has always been such a favorite thing of mine. There's many periods in my life where I've just created groups or events or brought people together for different reasons and in different ways that kind of break down normal silos, and in doing so help develop brand new relationships and relationships that might not have been formed otherwise. And so, like, for me, the fulfilling part of my life thus far has always been bringing people together and helping people develop like beneficial and valuable relationships. And so this year, having such an acute focus on that among many things with Q, and seeing like and feeling the real-time rewards of that in people, and just seeing how people have grown from it in such an interesting and a real way. I can think of a better word than real way, but just a way that isn't passing, a way that isn't it's not in one ear out the other. Like, that's a nice idea, and there it goes again. Like, in ways that people hold on to ideas and ways of being and ways of looking at life. And that's just been a really joyful part of last year. And so what else happened last year? A lot. A lot for me personally. There was a lot of big stuff for me last year. It was phenomenal in so many ways. And to have gone through so much and just had the time and space and focus to understand different things and learn about them and navigate them was just another incredible joy for me for 2025. And just I just got to spend so much time processing, reflecting, understanding like so many parts of my life and Q and what I'm trying to do and the life I'm trying to build for myself and for you and for everyone, to be frank. And it was just eye-opening in a way that I didn't think possible. By the end of the year, I feel like I got to a place in my life where I've had questions for my entire life in some cases. And by the end of last year, I'd answered all of those big questions. And wow, I mean, it just, where there had been a weight for such a long time, it was lifted in almost overnight. And as a result of that, I am, it's just, everything's easy or easier, like much, much easier. There's just this, it's just an ease. And it was a fantastic year is what I'm saying. I was able to really just get to a place of understanding and developing habits and just really finessing my understanding of how I function best and how I want to show up in the world. And I feel very clear about that at this point. And that's really a welcome place to get to at the end of the last year, and a really exciting place for me as I enter this new year, which, if anything, like last year's anything to go by, this year is going to be something else entirely, especially with what I have planned, which I'll touch on in a moment. What else? But with Q last year, so Q, the first year of Q, 2024, was really understanding what it was, vision, practical logistics, really trying to understand the value I was offering, if there was any value, right? And so I just spent a year thinking, talking to people from all over the world about different things, Q and other things, and trying to find patterns in those conversations, and a lot of learning. I learned so much about so many things related to Q. And by the end of the year, I felt I had a really, really, really good understanding of what it was. And then when I entered 2025, excuse me 1 second. When I entered 2025, it was about building the foundations of Q. And in the long-term thinking for me, I don't want to go down a kind of a traditional VC route. That's not really the idea for me. And so it was always going to be a road, a bootstrapping road for me, to get Q to a certain point where I either started making money, or maybe I take on a bit of money from an angel investor. And that's amazingly the time I'm just entering now, but we'll come to that. But in 2025, I needed to set things in motion. I needed to set things up and build things so that when 2026 came around, aka now, I was ready to rumble. I was ready to go. And what were those things? There was a lot of different things. There was a lot of small things, so I won't go through the entire list. But there's a few bigger things. The first thing was building the Q Anytime app. Now, Q Anytime was the original conception for Q. It was inspired by a very simple idea, which is what inspired Q, which is that most of what we know, we learn from experiences and other people. Right? More things we do, more people we meet, more we learn, and more we grow. But most people don't get to do new things or meet new people, so they live in fishbowls, right? You know, you're kind of exposed to this group of people consistently, whether it's online or offline. That's as far as you can grow. For example, when it comes to talking to people, like your ability to communicate with people, if you only communicate with the same people all the time, pop yourself in a completely different environment with different kinds of people, and you might struggle a bit. It might be more difficult for you to navigate those situations. And so for me, I kind of saw that problem, and I was like, I wish people could have access to people from all around the world just to get experience, exposure to life outside of themselves and outside of their fishbowl, right? It was just an easy way, a direct way for people to just to be able to learn from experience, right? This idea in the app itself, if you haven't checked it out yet, you should definitely check it out. Q Anytime, available on iOS and Android. It's very simple. You go on the app and you have 3 choices. You pick a topic of choice, maybe it's philosophy or creativity or coding or whatever it might be, a favorite football team. And then you pick how many people you want to talk to and how long you want to talk for. And then you press connect. And the idea is you then jump on a call instantly with people from all around the world who come from all walks of life, but that are equally interested in talking about the same thing that you are. So when you want to talk about philosophy, and you know you've got all your mates, but you're all kind of chatting about it all the time, but you know there's a bit of an echo in that room, right? And you want to get outside of that, especially with something like philosophy. It's a good way to broaden your horizon. So you jump on a Q Anytime call, and suddenly you're talking to someone from Zimbabwe and someone from Australia and Papua New Guinea and Sweden, and just talking to them for half an hour, and there's no time for small talk. You're just in a conversation about philosophy with people instantly. Like, that's a dream for me, like to be able to just talk to people about something I want to talk about right away. So Q Anytime available now. That was like one of the that was the first part of 2025 for me. It was like I needed to get that app built, and while it was about getting it built so people could start using it, it was about getting it built for this next phase, which is the 2026 phase of Q, because it was never about getting people on there right away. It's always been about building a flywheel with Q, which you'll kind of come to understand in time. So I was very fortunate. I was very, by happenstance, came across a program at the University at Buffalo that had local businesses pitch to master's students, computer engineering students, to build an app for free for the company. And I was lucky enough to win a team or get a team select my app to build. And it was a miracle. You know, I had no resources, no coding background, no money to kind of pay someone else to do it. And it was like I needed to get that going, and it just happened to be there. And so I had this team, just this wonderful team of Shruti and Darshan, Noir, Gurleen, and Jackie, who were just so fantastic. And Professor Alan Hunt, who runs the program, were just amazing. And within a few months of 2025, I had a working MVP of Q Anytime. Amazing, for free, by the way. And now the extra cool bit about this is that around this time, you know, AI coding, vibe coding was becoming a thing. And I was like, okay, if they're doing this, by the time they're finished with that, like I know there's more work to be done on it. I know I'm going to want to get it to this place that I feel really good about, and it functions at the level I'd like it to. And so I started learning to vibe code, and just in time. And then after they'd done a bit more work on it, I took over and finished building the app and got it available. And that was an amazing thing for Q to have that app available, but it was also just a really amazing thing for me. It was so amazing to learn how to code, and I resonated with it deeply. Like it speaks to me, that language, so I'm excited to do more of it and learn more about it. But that was a great big milestone for 2025. The second big milestone for me, and something that was really important, was the Buffalo community. Right, I've been building this in Buffalo, and I said from early on that Buffalo has always felt very special to me. Like from the moment I came here, I felt like I was going to spend time here, and that was before I lived here and before I moved here. And where this city is right now, and where the people are in this city, and where the world is, like from very early on, I just knew that this was the place for me to build Q. And the ambition for me with building Q is through people, through real experiences, real interactions, whether it be on Q Anytime or at one of my events, which I'll talk about again soon, or talk about in a bit. But like Buffalo has just been a really important part of it. And one of the interesting things that I found along the way is I was lucky enough to just, as I expanded myself with Q, got to just meet so many, like hundreds of people from so many different communities around this city, and it's just been so interesting and eye-opening, and it's just been great to learn from such an amazing amount of people. And so one of the things I wanted to do, because one of the things I wanted to do was highlight to all these different groups of people who are all kind of in their own way trying to like uplift this city and grow themselves and help the city grow, but all of them were doing it in silos. And so on one hand, for me, I wanted to bring all these people together into a kind of a creative, immersive, different environment that was going to tweak different parts of their brain that they might normally get tweaked, and with people that they aren't normally tweaking with, and at the same time, I wanted to plant a flag in the sand for Q to say, Q exists. This is like, it's really on the move at this point. And so with all that in mind, I held a launch event in July, in the summer, on a scorchingly hot day. And I sweated a lot during it. It was so hot, with sun beaming on my face through an ancient stained glass window. But that launch event was, it was the origin story of Q, and it was a huge amount of work, which I did for the first half of the year, simultaneous to developing and building Q Anytime with the team. But this event was an immersive art exhibition that was also the story of Q through me, through kind of sharing the pieces of the puzzle that led me to that moment I was in that moment. And also in between each of those chapters of me telling the story, I had amazing local performers who most of created original pieces for Q and for the event, and it was absolutely incredible. And through that event, I got all those things I was hoping for, but also just so much more. The relationships I've been able to develop as a result of that, and the insight I've had into people and been exposed to and learned about, it's just been phenomenal. And the support, like the curiosity about Q, the desire to see it grow, to see it flourish, to see these ideas in the world, has been overwhelming. And that event was really important in that regard, I think, because again, it was really getting people to know me, to get a good sense of who I am and what I'm trying to do with Q. And at the same time, as I say, kind of put their minds in lots of different places in a short space of time to really kind of challenge people to kind of think differently from one moment to the next, because the reality is we live in a world where you really need to right now. Things are changing every moment, and they will continue to accelerate to change. And I think one of the greatest skills anyone can have today is to be adaptable, to be versatile. And again, I'll come back to the core of Q always, which is to be versatile, to develop that skill set. The only way to do it, you can't read a book or watch a YouTube video, you have to practice. And practice, of course, is the key to literally everything in life. You can get good at anything you want to if you practice. That's it. It's really that simple. But all that said, the launch event, again, was also a joy. It was also a brand new thing for me because I was under the spotlight. I was telling my story and telling Q's story very vulnerably, and also speaking to 125 people while my art and all my kind of work is around me, and again, these ideas of Q and what I'm kind of pursuing with it. And so it was just a wildly unique, brand new experience for me, and certainly one that I will never forget. And fortunately, we got it on film, so at some point we will be pushing that out. So that was an amazing thing about last year as well. Now, the third thing was I wanted to get one of the challenges going with Q. There's a big part of Q in the future, and we're just beginning now, is kind of the challenge part of Q. And my ambition is to create challenges that help people grow from life experience. And a few months ago, I hid the first Q Quest box in Buffalo somewhere, and there are clues on Instagram. You can go through our Instagram, join.q, and and there's some clues on there. I think there's enough to find it at this point, but it's just got to go and find it, which is really interesting now because it's winter and it's snowy and it will be extra challenging, so it might not be until spring now if someone finds it, but we'll see. But I wanted to get that started. I wanted to get that moving, and the quest itself is a format that I intend to take globally, as well as along with a couple of other formats as well. So I'm so excited for someone to find that box, because in finding it, that isn't the end of the quest. In fact, that's just the beginning of the quest, because what happens then once someone finds that box is I then take them on a series of experiences that will help them learn and grow from experience and from kind of challenging experiences in ways that they want and they really need to. So I'm so excited to do that with whomever finds that box. Definitely look at our Instagram, look at the clues if you're interested in that. And just to be clear, this experience will be filmed. This will become its own Q series, the Q Quest series, which will be about 7-8 episodes as I take this person on their journey and help them grow through all these really fun, challenging experiences with different people and different things around the city. So keep your eye out for that. That was the third big thing I wanted to do last year, and I did, which was fantastic. So I'm very happy about that too. Now, as I say, there were lots of other small things and medium things, and just a lot of stuff that needed to be done, and I really wanted to get done. And I was very satisfied with that. I kind of thought that, okay, I've had way more than I hoped I would get done in 2025. I was so surprised and just felt very joyful. I was just really proud and also relieved that I'd got so much done. So as I looked ahead at the next year, I'm like, great, I've just got all this space to do. And that was the question for me. It's like, okay, I'm kind of here now, but now what is it I wanted to be focusing on? And so at the end of last year, I was also kind of blessed with the result of probably a year's worth of ideation on my part. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is I finally came to a conclusion about the in-person, real-life Q experiences and the kind of dynamic that will be at the core of them, that will create the experiences I want for people to really challenge themselves in ways that they wouldn't normally, and in ways that allow them to really build awareness almost instantly about themselves. I'm going to kind of leave it there because I don't want to give too much away about Qualia. So, but we'll come back to that. But let me go back to the planning part of it. So again, I've been working on all this stuff, right? Building Q Anytime, doing the launch event, getting the Q Quest going, and all the other bits and pieces, as well as life. And it was a big year, right? Amazing. So, but at the beginning of the year, as I'd kind of got to the okay, this is what Q is, and now I need to just do it. I had this question. I'm like, what is that experience though? What is the Q experience that is like no other, and really, as I say, really just gets that result that I'm hoping for? And so with things like that, for me, I tend to I don't write anything down for quite a long time. I let it simmer for a long, long time, and it certainly starts out as a seed, and I have a good sense of it at the beginning, but there's so many missing details. Normally what happens for me is, like, I have it there, it's in the ether for me, and then I go out in the world and all the details, all the pieces gradually come together. Like they gradually get fed to me, and because I'm not chasing them, I have this thing here, and I'm just kind of receiving it as I'm thinking, okay, that'll work there, and if I do this and do that. And so as I was getting to the end of next year, I was like, okay, great, now I've got all this stuff done, I can really focus on this, because this is important also because this is the vehicle that's really going to help Q grow. It's the scalable format, the thing that I will do in public experiences, but also in companies, in non-profits, in communities, organizations, whatever it might be. These experiences are designed to help. I'm just going to be quiet about this, okay? Because you'll learn more. But the long and short of it is, as I really started to think about what it was, I was trying to turn my attention towards it in the last year, I inadvertently stumbled upon it, just because I'd created this space where I'd got through all of this stuff, and I created this space, and I stumbled upon Qualia. It was like all these pieces that I'd been collecting along the way. Suddenly, because I had focused on it now, they all just came together. And when I say all, it was actually very simple when it came together, which is always a beautiful thing to me. I think that's a very important part of Q, and just my philosophy on life is simplicity. I did a series of art a couple of years ago, and the theme was animals are simple by nature, humans are complicated by choice, and I really believe that. And so for me, I'm always trying to lean towards the other side of the spectrum, the animal side, just keeping it simple. And so Qualia is really is born from that, and the simplicity of humanity and what makes us humans, and these core things. And I'll tell you one of the notes there is that I started this. Oh, here's another thing I did this last year, was starting the other Q show, which is a library of humanity I'm building. As we dive deeper into the AI and digital world, I think retaining our humanity is just so incredibly important. And one way I want to do it, along with all the other ways with Q, is build a library of humanity. And so I started interviewing people just one-on-one for about 35 minutes, and learning about not who they are and what they do and what they're working on, but how they think and how they feel and how they navigate life. and just how they human. And it's been so interesting and eye-opening, and just fascinating. Bit of a tangent, and I apologise, but back to Qualia. So the short of it is, while I turned my attention to it just to kind of get into it this year, I found the answer very, very quickly. And the answer, as I said, was very, very simple. And to the point at which I can create these experiences, I think within 15 minutes I could set one up. I just need people in the space, and highly effective and highly impactful. And don't take my word for it. The first Qualia event is coming up on the 22nd of April. So what is Qualia? What can I tell you? Qualia is a mystery social experience. Experiment, exploration, like sub one of those out or maybe mash them all together. But it's certainly a mystery, and no one is going to know exactly what they're getting into until they arrive on the evening. In fact, until the main experience actually begins, no one's going to know what they're getting into, and I mean no one. So the curious of you out there, those of you that want different things in life, those of you that ask questions of yourself, ask questions of others, like, this is a place for you. This is a place to grow. This is a place to experience something brand new and something that I intend to scale around the world. And again, public Q events, but also through companies and organizations, and really trying to just help people in these really fun and challenging and novel ways that are going to, that they're really, I believe, will really grab results very, very quickly and in such a way that stays with you. I talked earlier about kind of, people, things coming in one ear and out the other, but these experiences I'm creating with Qualia are very much designed to bring them in and just keep them there, because it's at the same time as people kind of experiencing it with their mind, they'll be feeling it with their bodies as well, that's for sure. So it's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited. I feel a bit like a mad scientist, to be honest, which is a really exciting thing. I only found my creativity, artistic creativity, again, like a few years ago, since I was a kid. And painting and writing and making content is one thing, or three things, and I love. But to create events like this that I think will, again, offer some people something brand new that isn't just exciting and joyful to experience, but really adds value to their lives in a very short space of time. So Qualia, which was intended to just be thought about at the end of last year, also came to me, and I began that work, and now it's going to be on the 22nd of April, which is Earth Day, not an accident, and I'm very excited. Now, do you want to come? You might be able to, you might not be able to. There's going to be limited tickets. The event is going to be free for anyone that attends. I can fit 175 people in the room, and I think we'll fill that relatively quickly. I will be sharing the invite with all these wonderful people I've got to know over the past couple of years, who have helped me grow Q and have just made this experience so joyful for me. And of course, I'm sure everyone understands that all those people get that kind of first rite of passage and first chance to experience Qualia, and really get a sense of what Q is, because I know there's always a lot of questions. But then I am hoping, in fact, I'll kind of plan to leave some tickets available for the public, because I do want people here to come into this experience who have had no insight into Q at all, had no experience with Q. So there'll be maybe about 50 of those will probably go to the public as well. So very excited. Keep your eyes out for that. If you haven't signed up on our website, make sure you sign up there. That's joinq.social, and on the Instagram, LinkedIn as well, joinq, join.q on Instagram. But just keep up to date with the news, because there's some fun stuff happening. So Qualia is happening, okay, and that is 2026, I guess. Like, that kind of brings us up to where we are right now. And well, I'm just very excited. I'm now in just in preparation mode for it. Doesn't take too much for me. I've just got to do a few things, a few pieces. It's already good to go. So now I just need to, I've got a few other things to do in the meantime. So this year, as I said, this is a year of a lot of growth for Q. I expect a lot of growth for Q, and that's what I'm working on right now. And Qualia is going to be a really important part of that. So this first experience is it's the tester. It's the come and experience Q for yourself, and really get a sense of it and see the value that these experiences can offer and Q can offer. And from there, there's a lot of work to be done, and really fun work, and not just work on Q, but work with people. And that's just my favorite thing to do. And so that's really what I look forward to this year. I think I got to know a lot of people last year through all of this. But I think I'm going to get to know a lot more this year. And that is really exciting to me, because I know that every single new person I meet, there's so much to learn from their experience and from their perspective, and it just fills me up every time I get to soak a bit of someone else up. You know, it just adds value every single time. And I encourage all of you, as always, to pay attention to people and get a sense of them, get an understanding of them, help them understand you better. There's so much value in that. Anyway, what else do I want to share today? I think that's it. I think there's a lot there. This is probably a long episode. I don't know how long now. I'm going to guess. Okay, I think I'm on 52 minutes by the time I finish this. Okay, that's what it's going to be, 52 minutes and 31 seconds, just for fun. I think that's it for today. And as a way to kind of bring in the new year, as I say, last year was a big one. It took a lot, but I got a lot in return, so much more than I could have dreamed of. And this year, we're not even through January yet, and I've just been blessed with so much stuff. It's just been an amazing start to the year in so many ways, and I just feel so excited about what's to come. And the wonderful thing about it, I think, is that I feel especially good about it because I've been building it. And so I know what's going on, how it's progressing, how I'm growing, and how it's all coming together. And it is all coming together nicely now. I've been doing a lot for the last couple of years and kind of planting seeds and getting it to where it's at. And so I'm just really excited to see all the seeds sprout and to really... there's a lot of good experience ahead for this year, I think, for me and for others, and certainly for those at Qualia. And I hope to see you there if you're listening to this. And if you are listening to this, if you reach out to me directly, by the way, I can reserve a ticket for you. So please give me a shout. Here's the sneak peek. There you go. There's a freebie there. Okay. Otherwise, thank you. If you haven't been watching the other Q show, just check it out. It's just been some amazingly interesting conversations with just such interesting people, and I'm really excited about just continuing to build that library in the years ahead. With people from all around the world. So check that out. And otherwise, enjoy yourselves out there. If you're in Buffalo, stay safe out there. In fact, it sounds like most places in America stay safe out there. It's pretty wild out there at the moment. So, but thank you all, and thank you all for being with me through 2025, and I'm really excited for all of us to grow and do more in 2026. Thank you.